Welcome everyone to my channel. If you haven't been here before, pull up a seat, sit down. We are going to talk about How to Speak Dragonese by Cressida Cowell. It's wonderful. A Viking lesson in pirating takes a strange turn when Hiccup and his best friend, Fishlegs, accidentally raid the wrong ship while trying to escape sharkworms. The two lads rescue a tiny yet arrogant nano-dragon named Zigarastica, but then they are kidnapped as part of a vicious plot to steal every dragon on the Isle of Berk. Hiccup must rely on his tiny new friend and his ability to speak Dragonese to save the day again. Basically, Hiccup is learning how to be a Viking. He's on his boat that him and Fishlegs made with their two dragons. They're out to sea. It's misty, it's foggy, they can't really see much, and they're told to go this way. Their boat kind of spins around a lot because it's not made very well, and they go a different way. Fishleg kind of wigs out because he's like, sharkworms, but they only go after somebody if they have a boo-boo, a wound, a cut, something that bleeds. And he's just wigging out. And so he finds this boat they come upon. It's massive. He doesn't realize that it's not the boat he's supposed to be going on, and he raids it. Hiccup is forced to follow. Toothless, who Hiccup has made mad, stays on their little pufferfin boat, the hopeful puffin. And so Hiccup goes up, tries to get back. He finds a shock. It's a shocker dragon. No, it's not the shark. What? That's not it. The electric squirm, which, if you're not touching the very tip of the tail, will electrocute you. Okay? So, it's not aggressive. And not fail electrical shock, but it is a shock anyways. So, to distract the fat consul, he sits there and takes this this electric squirm, and places it where a nano dragon is. Takes a nano dragon and leaves that. And he gets shocked, of course, and he's allowed to get Fishlegs free. And together they go to leave, but they do get caught, and Hiccup's hollering for Toothless, so Toothless comes up and rescues him, but as Toothless is going to fly back down, he gets caught in a net. So Toothless has been kidnapped. They get back home, they get yelled at for all their stuff. You actually do get to see that Hiccup's scoreboard of his report, which is kind of funny. So here's his school report for everything, and he is only doing very good in sword fighting lessons. Everything else he is doing terrible in. While Hiccup was on board, he had heard a plan that the fat consul and the something dude, I forgot what they called him, planned, right? They planned something. So, what was their plan? What was their plan? Their plan was simple. Kidnap the bog buggler's heir, which is a female, and send a note saying that it was the Hairy Hooligan tribe, which is Hiccup's tribe, did it. And then go onto Hiccup's island and kidnap the heir, which is Hiccup, dressed as bog bugglers to make it seem like they stole them. And then, yeah. So, Hiccup's dad gets a letter that says, give us back our heir or we're going to declare war on you. And, of course, Stoic is all like, roar. And Hiccup's like, no, it was the Romans. They told me of this. You have to believe me. The Romans did it. The Romans are planning to kidnap me, too. And then when Hiccup's kidnapped, he's like, oh, no, the bot burglars did it. Stoic decides to believe Hiccup that it was the Romans, so they do go after the Romans at the Fort of Solitude, which is where Hiccup and Fishlegs, who was captured as well, and the heir, Kamikaze, for the bot burglars, was stationed. Toothless is also there. He gets reunited with Toothless. Yay, Toothless. Zigarastica, who was the nano dragon he saved, has said, you can have one favor for me. Once you call upon me, make sure it's worth it. After that, I'm not helping out you no more. So there's a lot of rain, and a lot of rain, and a lot of rain, and it floods the Fort Salty. So they decide on the day that Hiccup and Kamikaze are going to fight in a gladiator battle, they're going to actually fight on boats, and it's going to be against dragons. Shockworms, to be more specific. So Hiccup gets the idea to use Zigguratsi in a very unique way. So he has Zigguratsi call upon all these nano dragons to go up underneath his clothes, and when he busts out of his barrel that he had been inside the water with, flying up, he says, "You don't know what I can do," and they don't realize there's dragons underneath his clothes helping him fly. He scares the fat consul and the whatever dude who actually is Alvin the Treacherous. Okay, Alvin the Treacherous. And he's like, "Give me back my half of my book," because when he was escaping, his book, How to Speak Dragonese, was torn in half. Alvin had one half. He had one half, and he wanted it back. Now, what Alvin put in it as a trap was a venomous warpent, which he was trying to take out to give back to Hiccup, but he did not. So they get into this hot air balloon, and they float up into the sky. So it's Hiccup, and it's Kamikaze, and it's Fish Legs, and it's Toothless, and they're all going up. Alvin the Treacherous, hook, and because they're struggling and everything, they make the hot air balloon spin. And it unscrews Alvin's hook. And Alvin falls into the water where the sharkworms are. Hopefully, he's dead. Of course, this is the second time they've hopefully killed Alvin the Treacherous. Or is it the third? I don't know. Anyway, he's always come back. So my guess is he's going to come back in the next book. Maybe. And they crash land on Stoic's boat. So then the bot burglar gets their hair back. They get their hair back. You know, everything's good and juicy. But at the end, it does say one of them was stabbed by the venomous. Right? By the venomous of Warpent. So, who was it? We will never know until the next book. Which is where it's probably going to happen, you know. I think that's one, How to Cheat Death. Not exactly sure. But, yeah. So there you go. Who is my favorite character? Hiccup, of course. He's a very smart 10-year-old boy. Or is he 12 now? I don't know. He's very, very smart, okay? He's a smart kid. I really like him. Who's my most disliked character? Alvin the Treacherous, because all he wants is to kill people and to steal dragons. And make money. He's an outcast. Nobody, not even the outcast one. He's an outcast from the outcasts. Okay? My favorite quote is good old Toothless when Hiccup hears about the fact that Toothless had pooed in Alvin the Treacherous's helmet. No, actually bit him on the nose. Bit the perfect Alvin the Treacherous on the nose when they brought him in. This is funny. He also pooed in his helmet at one point. Now, my favorite passage is, he burst through and hung in the air, every awestruck eye upon him. The fat consul fell to his knees, even Alvin's jaw dropped. That was a very nice passage. What stood out here? Poor Toothless. He really gets through the ringer this time, and it's just like, he's an arrogant dragon. Like, all dragons are arrogant. I mean, like, yes, they're all about themselves. But he does do things for Hiccup without being told to, or without being bribed into doing it. So, I mean, like, Toothless really does not get treated well in this book by Alvin the Treacherous at all. And he's more like sidelined for the most of it, because he doesn't really do too much to help out Hiccup. I mean, yes, he did try to fly up onto the Roman ship and help there, but he did get himself captured. And he didn't really do much else after that. But, I mean, like, poor Toothless. He's just had a rough time of it in his book. A really rough time. Being locked in a cold, dark dungeon. In a cold, dark dungeon. You know, he was locked in a cold, dark dungeon, and it was just scary and terrible and horrible for him. Okay? Okay? That's just the way that is. What did I think about the ending of the book? I like that they have a dun dun dun, who was bit? Read to find out more. That was pretty good. I mean, I do like the fact that Hiccup, Toothless, Kamikaze, and Fish Legs were all rescued. They rescued themselves for the most part. And they're safe and they're sound. Mostly. We don't know which one was bitten, or stabbed, or stung, or whatever it is. So we're just waiting on that. We're really just waiting on that, you know? We're waiting on that. It did not remind me of any book. Well, I mean, I guess technically a little bit like Artemis Fowl, but not really like Artemis Fowl. So, you know, children's book, that's basically what it is, you know? This book is part of a series called How to Train Your Dragon, and this is book 3 in the series, by the way. And there's 12 books plus a compendium. So, we're going to read them all. We're going to read them all eventually. This is on our way there, you know, on our way there. Alright? I rated this book. I forgot I rated this book too, because it's been a minute since I rated this shit. It's 4 stars. Now, why did I rate it 4 stars? I actually have no clue why I rated it 4 stars. It's not a 5-star read. Like, I would like things to be, well, like, some of this is, I mean, like, it's great that we get to see this, but in this, it's not dragons that he's fighting against. It's humans. It's mainly the humans, Romans, at this point. It's mainly the Romans that are enemies. And it's not the dragons. And this is How to Train Your Dragon. And he's not really training his dragon all that very well. This one was more about not even How to Speak Dragonese, because that's the name of the book. But it really doesn't involve much on How to Speak Dragonese, because Alvin's trying to speak Dragonese by reading this half a book about Dragonese, and he's being terrible at it, and Hiccup's like, let me just take over, because you're just so fucking dumb. Not that he says that word. But yeah, it's he needs to fight more dragons, and train his dragon. That's what I think. Anyways, if you guys think I deserve a like, comment, or even a lovely subscription, why don't you go ahead and drop it down below. See you next illusion.